Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to the first edition of the Age Show on Twitch.
Hello.
It's definitely been a while, if any of you literally know anything about the actual podcast on Spotify beforehand.
Yeah. I mean, the podcast was nice and all, but admittedly, it definitely kind of tired us both out in a way.
But to get things going, we're going to go back into introductions and actually be like, hey, this is what happened, because it has been a while. So, as always, I'm your host Connor, and not always my co-host Jess.
Hello, it's me. I am here.
It feels good to just talk.
Oh
In
yeah, because now we don't have to really sit there and I mean, okay, we could kind of worry a little bit if we say like stumble over everything we're saying, because I have a huge problem with that, admittedly. But now we can just kind of talk, and if it happens, it happens.
oh yeah, for sure. And so basically, just to get things a little started, I will say this, at least for me, like whenever we stopped doing the podcast, there was things going on kind of on both ends, more so on Jess's end.
Yeah,
And yeah, go ahead.
not to get too depressing about it, but admittedly, I did have a death in the family. I am fine. Let that be clear. It was a death that we did see coming, but it was, of course, upsetting because, it actually happened. But I am okay. But admittedly, just being with my family with that. I also, anyone who did listen to the podcast, I had two jobs at the time. That is not the case anymore. I have a single full-time job now, which is great. I get full-time hours now. Although I guess now I could actually say where I used to work, but that's not really here nor there.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter
Um,
too much in the end.
but it might explain a few things. One of my jobs was GameStop. I'm aware that GameStop gets a lot of crap, but I mean, I didn't mind it too much.
But hey, at least
No,
you
I
got to work with something like that. I mean, it seemed like you at least enjoyed your job at GameStop. So I mean,
for the most part, yeah. I mean, it's customer service, of course. So,
yeah, at the end of the day,
oh
customer service is customer service,
yeah, of course.
and we
But even then,
appreciate customer service workers.
I 100% do. I will do my best to always be nice. But even then, um, that was a thing. I got a new job. Obviously, the transition for that was a little annoying, but it works. Um, and then, admittedly, um, I wouldn't really describe it as burnout, but we definitely got a bit tired of the constant editing we were doing. Which, to be fair, we're not professionals. Let
You
that
know,
be known.
we're not professionals. Basically, what would happen is we would kind of limit ourselves in terms of episode making to like try and not go too much past like an hour and a half. We had a couple that went 2 hours, just about, because the editing process, because we'd have to listen back to the entire thing, and we were trying our best to have as little cussing as possible. And to be fair, we're still not going to be cussing up a storm. That's not what we're here to do.
I'm going to
But
try my best not to.
we're not going to be as worried about it. And also just editing out like dead space and stuff like that. Not the
Oh
game,
yeah.
not the game.
Yeah, no. Oh no, 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 no. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, 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 no.
And for also those that are unaware, because I don't think we've even actually said it yet, and sure, it's in the descriptions and stuff like that for the channel itself, but this is the AGE show, the Age show, however you want to refer to it as. Anime, games, and entertainment.
Yeah, it's a bit broad, but it does encompass two things that, at the very least, we both are. I don't know if passionate is the word, but we like. It is something we do enjoy.
We like anime, we like games, and we like other forms of entertainment that we could
Oh
definitely
yeah.
talk about.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
Maybe one day I'll talk about underwater basket weaving.
I honestly
Uh,
didn't have anything to say right away to that.
no, it's fine.
But
You don't
yeah,
have to.
and I mean, we'll talk about music like we did on Spotify too. Admittedly, that's more of a topic for me.
Oh yeah. I guess we could reintroduce ourselves real quick because that's a decent segue. Um, Hi, I'm Jessica. I go by Jess. The segue I was referring to was the fact that, while it's true that I may be kind of limited in what I do tend to listen to, I was in high school band and college for a total of 8 years of my life, so I do have some experience. Some, quote. That's a lot.
It doesn't feel like it's that long, but oh
It,
well.
it was a long time.
Yeah, it's a
Good chunk
decent
of my,
amount of time, honestly.
it was a good chunk of my school life.
Yeah, as for me, as far as like, I'll just do a proper introduction. Let's see here. So, as I said at the beginning, my name is Connor. Go by, you can just call me Connor, but full name Connor Garanto. And basically, for me, as far as music is concerned, I listen to just about everything I can if I really feel like it. That even includes country, but I barely, and basically never touch that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with country. I will say this. I think objectively there is nothing wrong, but maybe I'm a bit ignorant in it, but it does sound similar to each other.
Here's the thing, I respect the genre of country, like older country, not so much modern, but I don't, doesn't mean I listen to it. I just respect it. But for me, it's usually metalcore, hard rock, like that's the stuff I'll stick to. But I will listen to plenty of techno and dubstep related EDM, even some rap and hip hop and other pop songs mixed in there. So I mean,
Yeah.
music is my thing. And as far as high school is concerned, I played football in high school. That's what I did. I didn't play my senior year, but I did that for a few years of my life.
Oh yeah.
Basically from 8th to 11th. I started in middle school, but just to get that high school
Oh,
introduction out of the way.
yeah. I guess what else would be relevant to know about me? Uh, my favorite color is red, even though I wear mostly black. Uh, my favorite number is 15. My least favorite number is 14. That's a long story.
I was just thinking about it. I was like, how is that the case? Why do you
I mean,
not like?
I can give you the quick version.
Yeah, let's get a quick
Um,
rundown. Sure, it's story time. Quick little
okay,
story.
quick story. Quick story. 15 is just a number that tends to follow me around a lot. Um, I guess if I'm allowed to go back to middle school, I was a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts. I had a friend that got me into it, and as like, I don't know, as a lot of people do, they try to make original characters, OCs, if you will. Um, Most OCs tend to just be you, but your idea of being cooler, right? So my friend, they were like, "Hey, you need an organization name, right? Because that's how it works. You take a name and you mix it around and you put an X in there somewhere. That's how you spell the names, right? Um, Obviously, my name doesn't really work when you flip it around. But she was like, "Hey, what's something you really like? Like maybe a word?" And I was like, "Oh, I like astronomy. What about star?" Right? I just threw out words. Um, so she came up with the name StarX, which is the name I tend to use for online stuff. However, um, obviously, you are assigned a number. The number I was originally going to go with was 14, because, there were 13 members at the time. However, it was later revealed, because this is actually around the time when the game 358 over 2 days came out. And it was revealed that there was a 14th member, so logically, you have to take the next number, which was 15. And that number just kind of stuck. I also later, also being slightly cringe, I am a huge fan of the anime and manga D. Gray Man, and there's a group of people, they're referred to as the family of Noah, and they have, officially they have 13 members, but there was a 14th, that's a whole plot point, we're not getting into that. But as a joke, kinda, I also sort of thought of an OC for that, and thus she would have been number 15. So I felt like any time I made an OC, they had to have the number 15 somehow. So 14 just became the number I always used.
Nice. Lore, everybody.
Pretty much, yeah. As for why I hate 14, it kind of just annoyed me that I could never use
Yeah, I
the
was about
number
to say,
14.
that's what it was probably going to be. That was going to be my guess.
I could never use the number 14.
Yeah. Oh well,
So,
it happens. It happens. But, I mean, for me personally, as far as, CG Stripes. Or just CG 44 if you really wanna. So, like...
Yeah.
I think CG Stripes is pretty self-explanatory for everybody.
You got stripes on, duh.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I got nice hair.
Yeah, you got that nice stylized hair. Are the stripes in your hair natural? I've never asked you that.
Yes, actually, they are.
Oh, no way. That's fancy.
Yeah.
Fair. That's so mean. I can't have natural stripes in my hair.
Yeah. Lore, everybody.
You didn't dye your hair.
But as far as, obviously, CG, like, that comes across fine. But the 44, that was my football number. If you ever see CG 44 in anything, that's why. 44 was my football number in high school, so...
Oh, okay. I see.
That's
Never
why...
knew that. I learned something new.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think that's a decent amount of introductions. Basically, we just wanted to reintroduce ourselves in a way and also just explain what happened with the podcast on Spotify. However, the episodes are still up there. If you want to listen to the episodes that's on Spotify, they are there. They're not going anywhere as far as I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're there if anybody wants to listen to that stuff, but we will, from now on, be doing our show here on Twitch every time we do. We still have to figure out the specifics of when, and this episode as well is also going to be kind of unfiltered. It's not going to have a specific path as we just kind of get ourselves back into this mode of doing this stuff.
We kind of agreed that it would be... at the very least, we should pick a starting topic, and we should at least try to stick to it to a degree, but it's okay if it does veer off a bit, because it's more organic that way, right?
Absolutely.
Alright. Well then, so, other than introductions, what is the topic today?
Alright, as a matter of fact, we are now going to switch into that topic. And basically, it's going to be something that we have been playing a lot recently. So
Yeah.
it's the easiest topic for us to talk about as we get ourselves back into that, and that is Genshin Impact, as I have typed out at the bottom now.
Yes, I do see that, actually. Admittedly, according to Connor, this was my fault.
It's ultimately Jess's fault.
So, I guess to explain how I decided to start playing Genshin Impact, so obviously, it's a pretty popular game, honestly, despite the aggressive gacha aspects of it, where it's true that you can 100% play this game for free, and still do just about anything that anyone can do. You are definitely going to have a lot less chances if you do not spend money on this game, which is, of course, valid, and if you spend money on this game, that is also valid, but you have to also, please just pay your bills.
Hides in corner.
Oh geez, sorry, joking.
I'm joking too.
Actually, one sec, I actually have a drink. Hold on a second.
We're gonna do this again?
Yeah, I got peace tea, duh.
Let's see if it comes across.
I don't know, actually. Anyway.
If you already opened it, then yeah, it didn't come across.
It's fine. I mean, it was just a quick sort of pop sound. If
Joke's
you've ever
on
cracked
you.
open a cold one with the boys, you know what it sounds like. Anyways, so obviously I had seen a lot regarding Genshin Impact, and even though I never played the game, I was still interested in the character designs. Obviously character design is very subjective, but I did find the designs pretty cool, although if there was one thing that I definitely got wrong, it's who the protagonist was.
Oh yeah.
So, for anyone who knows Genshin Impact, obviously there are a lot of characters. Some characters are much more popular than others, and one of the most popular, if not probably the most popular character, is the character Zhongli. I was so convinced this guy was the main character. He's not. Um, but considering how much they promote him, I'm surprised he's not.
I mean, to be fair, it happens. And also to go back to the point, I played Genshin Impact with another friend of ours I'm not going to get into right now, but like we played Genshin Impact like over a year ago, back in 2021, and we played it a fair bit at the time, but then just eventually stopped because it's like we just kind of fell out of it. And then all of a sudden here Jess comes up and is just like, oh, playing Genshin Impact, and she played it for probably like, I'm gonna
Maybe about
say
a week or so.
I'm gonna say more like a week and a half, maybe almost 2 weeks. And I was just kind of like, you know what? To hell with it. I'm gonna update Genshin Impact and start playing it again, just cause. And that has led us on a whole thing now. Basically, Jess was past me in story by that point, but had basically the same adventure rank as me. Well, she had like a couple levels above, I should say.
I was a little higher, yeah, just
Yeah,
because I had been kind of aggressively exploring, and just exploring alone and finding like treasure actually helps you rank up, which is nice. Um, However, I definitely, while I do enjoy Genshin Impact, and I would overall consider it a good game, it definitely has some issues that I definitely think either could be improved or just changed in general, or removed in some cases.
that's fair.
Uh, I mean, okay, so let's ignore the gotcha aspect, because clearly that is probably the biggest point of debate, but it is selling itself as a gotcha game, so you can't really remove that. I think it could be changed a little bit to make it a bit fairer. Um, but I mean, obviously that is kind of the point of a gotcha game. So, I mean, there's not too much you can do on that aspect.
But yeah, I will definitely not lie. Like, yeah, I've spent some money on the game. And to be fair, it kind of shows whenever I do have like five stars at least, which really isn't that much in hindsight with other people that actually spend a whole hell of a lot more money than I do. Or if you're just extremely lucky.
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, we could explain that aspect. So, you know what? No, I'm going to talk about this because.
Go ahead.
So,
Explain.
Jess decided she got an acquaint fate, which is the thing that's used for rolling in the gotcha of the game itself. And if you do a 10 roll, you have a guarantee at a 4-star or better, but obviously you have to have the currency that you can buy with real money or obtain what's known as acquaint fates. But Jess decided, after getting an acquaint fate one time, that she was just going to do a 1 roll. Just cuz. Just do a 1 roll. Gets a 5-star character on a 1 roll, which by the way,
the one I wanted.
yeah, which by the way, real quick, getting a 5-star in that game whenever it's not a part of the 10 roll is a 0.6% chance out of 100. Whenever you have the higher chance of the 10 roll, it's a 1.6% chance. Which I know, it's 1%, but in gotcha, that makes a difference.
Oh, it does, yeah. But which, by the way, not only did I get a 5-star character, I did get the character I wanted, which was Diluc, because, let's be real, part of the appeal of Genshin Impact is in its anime husbandos and waifus, and I'm gonna be real, Diluc is up there for me. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
He's basically just anime Batman, but I don't care.
Which is fun. But not only that, she eventually did another 1 roll, and then got one of my personal favorites in Kaching. Because I already had Kaching.
another single roll, and I got another 5-star character.
And that is not
Um,
all, folks. She's done it once, she's done it twice, but can she do it a third time? Fucking yes.
well, okay, the third time it wasn't a character; it was
It,
a 5-star weapon.
it was a weapon, but still, it's a 5-star. It's a 0.6% chance.
Ah, that's funny.
Which is hilarious, by the way, because it's the same weapon. Because later on, I did a 10 roll and I got D-Luke myself, and I was like, oh, cool. And I had this 5-star weapon I got from the past, which I had on Razor when I played back in the day. But now, I switched that weapon over to D-Luke because I knew it'd be really strong, which is the Wolf's Gravestone weapon. For anybody that plays Genshin and knows what the fuck that is. And
like a edgy black and red like claymore weapon. It's
Or,
really cool. Actually.
or I'm sorry, what the Fatui that is.
It's so funny.
What's up? It's Lex Flex. James.
Hello there.
I could say James'
Hello there.
name. Alright. As you can see, we are here, James.
We are, yes, we are chatting away.
If you do have any questions yourself, even though we literally know each other, just let it just ask. It doesn't matter while we talk.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
But,
so yes, the Wolf's Gravestone weapon. I decided to put it on D-Look, and then after I got it, and then whenever she did the next single roll and also got the same weapon, the Wolf's Gravestone, then it's like, well, that's gonna go on her D-Look now. So our teams are very similar right now.
a little bit, yeah. Admittedly, you definitely have a couple characters I don't have. I won't lie. Despite my luck in getting 3 5-star characters or weapons on single rolls, even when I did 10 rolls, I was angry that I never got an Animo character, a wind character, more specifically.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I'm aware, yes, you, the Traveler, can be Animo, but the problem is I'm lame, and I'd rather just stick my character to be whatever element is currently the latest element you can get, which is Electro in this case. I'm lame. So, I wanted a character that could just stay as Anima, which is literally everybody except you. So, I finally got one. I mean, I'm a little mad it's not a 5-star, but that's okay. Sucrose is actually really good, in my opinion. I pretty much only strictly use her to cause reactions, and that shit is fun as hell.
To be fair, yeah, wind characters with the swirl reaction is very strong. If you get that reaction off and whatnot. So.
Oh yeah. In fact, what I tend to specifically do is I'll build up her burst, and then I'll use the burst, and she puts a field on the ground that will pulse with Animo. But if it comes into contact with another element, such as Electro, Hydro, Pyro, whatever it is, it'll then turn into that element and deal that damage instead.
Yep. And I mean, there's multiple elemental reactions that can go off because every character has some form of element that's associated with them. And in certain cases, like D-Luke is Pyro, Sucrose that we mentioned is Animo, which is Wind.
Can I question the name of that for a second?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. I don't think Animo is a bad name, but, Pyro, Pyromaniac, it's fire. Cryokinesis, it's ice. It makes sense. What the hell is Animo? I have never heard Animo before until I played Genshin.
To be fair though, like I never heard of Animo or something relatively similar to it until Genshin Impact.
Because yes, if I remember all of them,
I'm sure it's from something.
I have one more I'm going to question. So you have Pyro, Cryo, Electro, Geo, Hydro, Animo, and then the last one, which is the most confusing, is Dendro. And the reason I'm confused about this is there's literally no one in the game that's playable as Dendro, but this is listed as an element.
Yeah, and there's a couple enemies like Dendro slimes, and there's these like shaman enemies that can also have the Dendro element.
Which I don't even know what it does. I've never figured it out.
All I know is if you do Pyro on a Dendro enemy, they burn like crazy, and even if they run away with a fire on them, they leave a trail. That's about it.
Well, yeah. So my conclusion is that Dendro is like nature specifically, like maybe wood,
Yeah, pretty much.
considering that it burns easily. But even then, what does it do? I don't know. Every time I've been inflicted with Dendro, I don't know what it's doing to me. I can't quite tell. I think
Again,
it's just there to cause a reaction.
yeah, that's what I felt like as well for the most part. Again, the only one I know for sure is whenever it reacts with pyro. Everyone else, I'm not 100% sure if it has much.
Oh yeah, because I mean, to be fair, you can trigger a lot. Some of these effects that they do are interesting. Like some, it makes perfect sense. If anything comes into contact with wind, it creates a swirl. Pretty easy because that's what wind does, right? If ice meets fire, it melts. That makes sense too. But some of them are a bit interesting. If ice comes into contact with electricity, it actually causes superconduct.
Which is actually kind
I
of
think that's
strong,
pretty.
honestly.
Honestly, that and overload, which is when uh, a pyro comes into contact with electro. That's also pretty OP. Other than that, the only other one that I think I'd find interesting, because it's not really an attack. I have learned this. Geo, while yes, it's an element, it's not really meant to be an attacking element. It's meant for shielding purposes.
Mostly,
Kinda.
yeah. At least from
Like,
what I've seen.
because pretty much, if anything comes into contact with Geo, it crystallizes, and if you touch it, it creates a shield of the element that came into contact with it. So if you do it with ice, it becomes an ice shield.
Yeah, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah. Plus, most of the Geo characters have some form of a shield or some kind of defense property. I think most notably is Zhongli, whose literal skill is literally that he gives you a giant shield. Not
Yeah,
physically giant, but like the shield is very strong.
yeah, but then not only that, his ultimate is literally bringing down a meteor like Sephiroth up in here.
That's true. Um, which I did. I have done some of the character stories. I've mostly been focusing on the 5-star ones, just because they require story keys, and they require only one. While as some of the other ones that are considered the 4-star characters require two, which is a bit strange. I feel like it would be backwards, but that's fine. Also, some of those 5-star character stories are sad.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, they also have like their comedic moments, especially Zhongli.
Oh yeah, Zhongli actually had a few moments that actually made me die laughing.
Yeah, Zhongli's story was, even though obviously it has its moments as well, of just like, oh yeah, this is sad. Like, it's still, it was an actually good story. I haven't had any issues with basically all the stories I've done so far, except for Tartaglia's slash Child's, for those that know.
Uh, okay, I don't hate Child Story. I think the thing that you hate is you don't like his brother.
Well,
His
again,
little brother.
that's the thing. I said I don't like hate story for like what it is. It's like, ah, yeah, it made me appreciate that character more. It's just his brother in the story is just kind of insufferable. Like
Yeah.
this little Fatui was a pain in my ass.
Jeez. Regardless, yeah, this brat who, okay, obviously when you click on the character story and you unlock the quest, it's pretty clear you're gonna run into that character at some point, right? I was not sure how you ran into Child, especially considering how you meet Child in the story, like the actual story, which we'll get to that story in a second because I have an issue. I have a very petty grudge against some characters, but we're not getting into that.
That's fair.
So we'll get to that in a minute because I have to let the world know about that. Anyway, but you meet Child in his story quest. How you run into him is you're running around and you find this little kid who's like dressed in winter gear, and he keeps talking about trying to find his brother, and he thinks the giant robots that are roaming around that are actually really dangerous enemies are a thing called Mr. Cyclops.
Yeah,
He thinks they're toys.
and again, we won't go too much into it because obviously you should experience these stories for yourself. But
Oh yeah.
to give the opening of how that actually starts to hang out with that character, yeah, that way you know. Because honestly, I was like, how are we gonna hang out with this character based on what happens in main story? Honestly,
Which I think it's fair game to mention anything in the main story up until this point, because I am aware that as a result of obviously I don't know all the details, but I'm aware that COVID is still a thing, and many places are still affected by it to really bad ways. And China is no exception, especially with a very heavy population, which I'm pretty sure is the main uh, place the company MiHoYo actually is situated, because I'm pretty sure it's a Chinese company. And obviously, they've experienced many delays and things, and games are no exception. So obviously, we've been in this patch apparently for quite a bit longer than is considered normal. So I think it's fair game to kind of talk about everything up till Inazuma.
yeah,
I mean,
basically
maybe
up,
not the end, but
yeah,
you know,
basically up
up to
to
it.
Liyue story.
Which, okay, good, because can I?
I think it'll be fine. You want any gripes you want to get off your chest, or
Okay, I got a gripe. Okay, I want it to be known. I am aware I'm being very petty about this. Let me be petty. So, uh, you know, the I'll be brief about it. So obviously, your goal in the game is to find your brother or your sister, depending on which traveler you choose. You're there to find your sibling, and you go around trying to find the gods because you think they can help you. Because your emergency rations Paimon is like, you should go talk to the gods. Anyway, you go do all this crap in Mondstadt. That's done. Then you go to Liyue, which is where the Geo Archon is, who is a dragon, apparently. You go to a thing, and it's like some thing where like he's supposed to like come down and give his like prediction for the year or something. Like that's how this country works. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, you go there. He's dead somehow. Like he just crashes into the ground from the sky, and it's like, oh, that sucks, right? We needed to talk to that man or dragon, whatever. Anyway, everyone automatically thinks it's you because they've never seen you before. I don't know why. That's kind of rude to assume that you're the one who killed a god. But whatever. You leave, or you try to leave, you get stuck. Tartaglia fucking saves you. Which, whatever. Like, okay, I already know that, Tartaglia, why am I calling him that? I usually call him Child.
well, we got to get to that point. We were just introduced to him in the story.
Yeah, okay, so you're introduced to him, and I already know that this guy's bad news, because, I've seen spoilers, but obviously, in-game, I don't know that yet. No, he just straight up tell you, yeah, I work for the Fatui. Specifically, I am one of the 11 Harbingers. That's a problem. I'm like, hold on. You're just telling us this. Okay, you're very sus. But okay, he's the only person we can trust. He lets you go meet Zhongli, who is casually the actual god, but Child doesn't know that yet, I guess. I'm under the assumption he never knew.
At least not until
anyway.
at least not until the end of Liyue story.
Yeah, until the end of Liyue, which is hilarious to me, but whatever. Anyway, so they're like, okay, so I know it wasn't you, but you need backup. You need someone to prove your innocence. You should go talk to the Adepti that are out in the mountains who do not fuck around with people. Like, they're revered by people, but they don't like humans. It's weird. Anyway, it's the only lead you got, right? You go talk to one of them. I don't remember which one. I think it's Mooncarver. Whatever. You talk to one of them, and he's like, "Hey, you gotta go talk to three other people."
It's Mountain Shaper first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you talk to Mountain Shaper. He's like, "Okay, you gotta go talk to Cloud Retainer, Mooncarver, and the Conqueror of Demons, also known as Zhao." This is also everyone's favorite character. Obviously, I think you could do them in any order. I could be wrong, but I definitely decided to go talk to Zhao last. Because I was like, one, you're the furthest away. I don't want to travel that far.
I think you automatically end up going to Zhao last because I'm pretty sure it's Moon Carver, it's a cloud retainer to Zhao. I'm almost positive, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
It's already
I don't
been
remember.
like a couple weeks since I did that story.
Regardless, you do talk to Zhao last, and I mean, again, I have a general idea of what this guy looks like. I know, like, one or two things about his personality. That's it. This guy is rude as fuck. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I am bitter. Let me explain exactly why I'm bitter. So, he doesn't like people either, right? Okay, that's fair. However, as with anything, you can bribe people with their favorite food, which is like tofu or something. It's like, I think it's almond tofu. Whatever. That's not the important part. But you also decide, you know what? I should also offer a food item that I make that, you know, it's like a way to appease him, right? The journey I went on to get 2 apples because I didn't have any for some reason was so annoying. I literally traveled all over the map. I poofed in different places. It was so frustrating. Anyway,
I mean, I just had the
so
stuff on me, so I mean.
I did it. I literally had everything but apples because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make him a salad. You know, tofu and salad. That's a great combination, right?
Yep, totally.
Anyway, so I finally find some after like 40 minutes of going everywhere. I was like, okay, that's easy. Okay, so you go to the chef who's at the inn because he's at this inn that's like halfway down to Leeway from Mondstadt. Anyway, you go to the chef. You're like, hey, can you make some tofu? And he's like, no, I can't. There's a ghost in the kitchen.
Yeah, just
I'm
there's a
sorry.
ghost.
I'm sorry. There's a ghost in the kitchen, and I'm like, isn't that why Zhao's here? Whatever. Anyway, so you convince this little ghost girl to finally leave him alone after you chase her down this path that I nearly died to, by the way, because she spawned enemies that I was not prepared for. Anyways, you go back to the chef. He finally makes the tofu. I make my damn salad. I walk up to Zhao and I'm like, please hear me out. I need you to prove that I'm not guilty of killing a god. And he went, no, and left.
Pretty much.
I was so mad. It was late at night, and I did that. That happened. I made sure the game saved the progress, and I turned off the game and went to bed. I was so mad.
Zhao basically made you have like a small rage quit.
I did. Okay, but hear me out, though. I am actually interested, because I did do his character story. Yeah, he's got a reason to be mad.
Yeah, I'll see it.
Really good
I'll see it eventually.
Anyway, I think I'm tired of talking about this angry man now. We can move on.
Alright. How about we talk about the characters themselves, like in the general sense?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think.
So, I'm trying to think. I will segue this one in. Where basically...
Okay.
Well, I think it'd be nice to just actually talk about the characters. Again, whatever Jess made the joke kind of earlier, just like, yeah, the husbando and waifu game of Genshin Impact, and all these different characters that you can basically choose from, in a sense.
Oh, yeah. There's quite a few characters and whatnot, but it's like, it kind of depends on your preference, obviously. Obviously, some character designs, in my opinion, are definitely way stronger than others. That's just a personal opinion, though. Obviously, everyone has their preferences for what they do and don't like, or what looks good and what doesn't look good. But I would say everyone looks passable, at the very least. I would not say someone just has a bad design. I will say that.
Yeah, even with some people... some people's designs where it's just like it's maybe a little questionable, at least it's unique. And my best example of this is Yunjin, because her outfit is something else.
Okay, her outfit's not bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's not bad, it's unique.
I think you're just talking about her headpiece. She's got this like
No, I'm talking about pretty much the whole thing.
I mean, my
but it's mostly the headpiece.
Like, I think her dress and stuff is fine. I mean, it's a lot of layers for a area that she's from that looks like it's actually kind of hot. Leeway looks like it's got some pretty warm temperatures, personally.
Yep.
Just by the architecture and everything.
But again, it's not like I
Looks
said.
like she's dressed for. She looks like she's dressed for Shesnaya, which I
Yes,
believe is
Shesnaya.
supposed to be, which we haven't gone to yet. But...
Maybe a little bit of an exploration into Dragonspine.
Oh, we're not talking about Dragonspine. I refuse to go back.
Well, too bad.
I say that as you have to go back if you're going to talk to some of these characters. Oh, Magnus. Oh, sorry. I should have mentioned that. I have cats.
Yes, there are cats in said household. Over there.
Okay, they're not my cats. They are my sister's cats. I live with one of my sisters. I have Magnus, who is solid white and 2 years old, and Nova, who is a little calico, who's 1 year old.
I don't know about little anymore. She's starting to get big.
A little chunky cat now. I love her.
She's rounding off.
Well, I mean, she did get spayed recently, and unfortunately cats do tend to gain weight after a neuter or a spay.
Yeah. Oh well. But yes. You guys should play RuneScape.
I have never actually heard anything about RuneScape too much, honestly.
Here's the thing. I played it once. I played it once for a month, really, really hardcore, because another friend of ours, I'm pretty sure it was Bobby, that got me a month of what is it, VIP or whatever. So that way I'd have other servers that I could go on to that have like bonus XP and other stuff like that. I played it really hard for that month, and then that was it. The moment that subscription ran out, I was just like, all right, because I was burning myself out on Final Fantasy 14 at the time. I was like, I want something else to play for a bit, and RuneScape was the answer for a small time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, maybe, you know what, James, next time we're in chat, I would like you to explain RuneScape to me. Maybe I'll give it a try.
That's definitely a can of worms.
I mean, considering I unload cans of worms all the time, I think it's only fair that other people get to.
True that.
Well, I'm curious if you really wants me to play it.
Yeah. But alright, let's see real quick. So, going back to characters in Genshin, I will say this kind of right off the bat. One of my personal favorites ever since I got her and also met her in the story is Yanfei.
Oh, Yanfei is adorable.
Yanfei is half Adeptus, which is cool.
Yeah, she got like these little antlers that
go
point
down
in the wrong direction.
The antlers go down.
Which, it's not a bad thing. It looks fine, but it's just like, when you really think about it, like, if I told you, hey, this person has deer antlers, but they go backwards, like, what would you think that looks like?
It's like, I'll just pull up a picture of Yanfei. There you go.
Yeah, like, I would just, I mean, the answer would be, I would just pull up a picture of Yanfei,
but she's also got this, she's not, like, wearing a lot of clothes, but she's not, like, sexualized either.
Yeah, like, that sounds weird. But also, she's definitely older. Everyone in this game is both older and younger than they look.
Pretty much.
Like, the oldest character doesn't really look like he's the oldest.
But that's because he's a god.
I think it's fair to say that the oldest character is actually Zhongli. He is a god.
Yeah.
So.
He's like 7,000 years old or something like that.
He's at least 5. It's not exact.
No, he's at least 6,000.
He's 6,000, not 6. God, could you imagine if he was 6 and looked like that? That'd be horrible.
It'd be horrifying.
I'd be scared. I'd be scared because of all the fan art. Lord.
Well, that's something we just don't talk about then.
Oh yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, there's other characters that have nice designs for whatever reasons they are and whatever you fancy, however you want to refer to it.
Whatever your type is, I guess.
Like, honestly, Kaching's design is nice in my opinion. It's interesting.
Oh yeah. I like Kaching. Kaching is fun. I did actually also get Kaching. I don't think I. Wait, it wasn't. No, Ka-ching
We
was the
we we,
character I got in the
we,
one roll, right?
we already mentioned it. Yeah, you got Kaching
Okay,
in a
yeah, I
single
couldn't
roll.
remember because I do have a couple 5-star characters, but some of them I did get in a 10 roll, like
Yeah,
Chi-Chi.
yeah, you got Chi Chi in the 10 roll.
I think Chi-Chi was the first 10 roll I did that
Yeah,
wasn't like beginner banner.
yeah, because you had her whenever I came back to playing. It's just like, oh, you have Chi Chi. It's just like, oh, you have this 5-star character. I just had Kaching, and then I did some 10 rolls, and I got Mona, and Mona's actually pretty strong.
I kind of just want Mona because I feel like, in my opinion, I think the most recognizable characters from Genshin are Zhongli, Mona, um, Zhao, honestly.
Yeah.
Who else? I don't know. There's a lot of characters I could probably choose, but those definitely for sure are some of the most recognizable. Like you probably know where. Oh, Child. I'm stupid. Tartaglia is also up there. I don't think anyone else sticks out quite as much, personally.
Yeah, I don't think there's
I mean,
some
like,
others like Hu Tao, I feel like, as well.
oh yeah, Hu Tao. She's actually pretty normal looking by comparison.
Despite her eyes. That's about the
Her
biggest
eyes
difference.
literally have stars in them, or I think they're flowers.
They might be flowers since they're rounded off.
Yeah, plus she has a bit of a flower motif, so I think they're actually flowers.
Yep. And also a little too enthusiastic about being someone who works with the
She's
dead.
the head of a She's the head of a funeral parlor, and I'm just like, you look like you're 12. She's okay. She has to be older than 12. But
I don't remember what her like canon age is, but I think it's 20s. I
does
could be.
anyone have a canon age? I don't know anymore.
I think for most people it's kind of guesswork, but
I mean, you can make an assumption. Like, example, Zhongli, he's at least 6,000. But how old is he actually? Who knows?
which
And then
is
there's some characters like, I don't know, Ganyu, and, like, really any Adeptus, I guess.
and half Adeptus because Ganyu's half Adeptus, Yanfei is half Adeptus.
Ganyu was the nicest person to me when I was in Leeway. I was like, you're such a sweet child, even though you're like 3,000.
Yeah.
He was so nice.
Ganyu's very good, very nice.
She's sweet, let her do her job, please give her a vacation. She is overworked.
Probably not underpaid though.
I would hope she gets paid well. She works for the person who's literally the richest person in the world.
Yep, Ningguang.
Which, I don't even know how she puts on her outfit, but it's an outfit. It's a look.
Again, I asked you the question of like, how long do you think it takes some of these girls in Genshin Impact to do their hair?
Well, as someone who doesn't really do anything fancy with their hair, I just, wash it, brush it.
Oh, I know, but even still, like, I was just asking the question. Not because you are a woman, but just cause.
Well, I mean, I even asked me, like, specifically about Kaching, because she has, like, these long pigtails in the back of her head, but she also has these, like, cat ear shaped hair buns. And you were like, how long do you think that takes? I'm like, well, as someone who is a fan of Sailor Moon, I could definitely tell you that doing hair buns like that is not as hard as you think it is. Now, to make them the shape of cat ears, I don't know.
I still find it funny because, again, first time I saw her, I was like, is she a cat? Like, the very first time I ever saw her. I was just like, no, that's just her hair. It's like, alright.
Yeah, my sister's like, the cat woman. I'm like, oh, you mean Diona? And she's like, no, the purple one. I'm like, Kaching? And she's like, yeah, that one. I'm like, she's not a cat. She just has cat-shaped hair.
Although, speaking of Diana, that's an adorable character that we must protect.
I only have one question, other than her questionable age working at a bar.
Yeah, she's like 14 working at a bar. It's like, okay.
Yeah, like, okay, she's not like little, although she is physically little, but, she's young. Why is it that she has pink hair, but her ears and tail are calico colored? You would think her hair would be too, right? To some degree.
To some degree, or if her tail and ears were just straight up pink. I don't know. I've never looked up what the reasoning may be.
It's just weird that, in my opinion, like, look at your tail and ears. They match. They match your hair.
Well, yeah, but it's because I'm a tiger through and through.
Yeah,
So I mean,
but
that's just how it has to be. It makes
eh,
sense.
but that would make sense for her too. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
a bad look. Don't get
you're
me wrong.
right.
It's just when you really sit there and be a nitpick about it, it's like, why is her hair all so pink, but her tail and ears aren't?
Oh well, we may never
Oh,
know. Maybe there is a specific reason. We just haven't looked it up.
I think it's just character design. Not a
Probably.
bad thing. I don't think it's a bad design.
I mean,
Honestly,
again, it's different. Like that's.
actually, that's a good question. Who do you think, in your opinion, has the weakest design in your eyes?
I don't know. That's a good question. Just because it's like, do I
Why
necessarily
don't
want
you?
to choose like the most basic look? I don't know.
Well, again, it's your opinion. Because just because you think it's the worst doesn't mean it's bad. You just personally don't like it. I think I have an answer. Maybe. I think my answer is going to be Razor. I don't think his look is bad. I just, I don't know. I'm not really a fan of it.
No, I think I remember now. I honestly like like there's certain parts that I still like about it, and again, like it's not because it's not bad. It's just I do question it a little bit because I don't like it 100%, and that's Venti's.
Yeah, well, Venti definitely gives off the idea of a bard, which is what he
Oh yeah,
claims to be,
which that
even
does
though
come
he's
across.
yeah, which he literally is a god too. uh, so like that works. I'm not really a fan of the whole shorts and like puffy shorts and tights look too.
Yeah,
But
that's what bothers me. It's the puffy short part that bothers me.
like it works. It
It
gives off the
bothers
idea
me
that he's young.
immensely.
It gives off the idea that he's young, even though he's at least like probably 2,000 or so. He's actually young for a god. For a god.
Um, I also know like Jiang Qi is probably like a pretty basic look. Like there's not a whole lot going on there,
Yeah. I don't think he's got a bad look.
but it's not a bad
He
look. No.
looks pretty proper. That's kind of the idea. He's young. That's why he has shorts. Uh, but which let it be known. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with asymmetrical looks. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. However, there are some looks that are asymmetrical for no reason, and
Yep.
I don't know why.
Uh, okay, so we talked about weakest design in our opinions. What is do you think might be your strongest design?
Oh, that's a really
That
tough
one's much
question.
harder because there's plenty of designs that I think are fantastic for whatever reason it may be.
Oh lord. Honestly, this is gonna sound weird. I feel like some of the weaker designs actually come from Mondstadt. To be fair, these are early characters, and obviously later on you could experiment a bit more. But no one in Mondstadt, in my personal opinion, really sticks out as being like, holy crap, that's a good look.
Yep. I mean, I will say
Design.
I will say this because the 2.7 patch is right around the corner, literally in like 2 days, and we know the characters that are getting added as well, which are named Yelan and Kuki Shinobu. I love both of their designs
Oh yeah,
as
I like
well.
them.
I don't know. I
I
don't
have
know if I'd give either of them the strongest design yet, but
I have one question. This is for Yalan. How does she put those pants on? They look really tight. Like they
couldn't
look fine. It's just like, how does she actually put them on?
could not tell you.
Like
I
I'm
also
literally-
think Eula has a really strong design.
I feel like I don't know how she puts that on either.
Toma's got a good design.
Okay, Toma is my boy. Like, I'm mad I don't have him. He's a 4-star, so it's a lot likelier that I'll get him than literally anybody else. But I'm still mad I don't have him.
Beto, which is goals, is a good design.
Beto is goals. Beto is goals.
I also think Fischl's design is great.
Official's example of a design that's asymmetrical for no reason. Also, she's a JoJo character. I want you to look at me and tell me she's not.
Oh yeah, 100%. Obviously Zhongli is very strong.
honestly, I would never, in my opinion, because like there's a rule with fashion that you generally do not mix brown and black, and you don't mix gold and silver. Generally, like that's just a thing. Obviously, there are exceptions to everything. Zhongli is one of them because he's got a lot of these colors on him, but like it's a lot of earth tones, which makes sense because he is the Lord of Geo. So yeah, of course he's gonna look like that. Also, it's like a three-piece business suit. Like, damn, bro, it's a good look. I
Yeah.
would want to wear this outfit, assuming I could rock it. I can't, unfortunately.
And
I'm
then,
also not nearly that tall.
right.
I
And
don't, I
then
don't have
just
the legs for it.
to name kind of a few more, like Kaya, Raiden Shogun, Chongyun, Yoimiya, Ganyu. Honestly, I would even say Ningguang just because it's interesting. Tartaglia's outfit as well.
Tartaglia actually has a pretty rocking look, honestly, which is weird, but it actually is pretty dope. I actually kind of like... It has a second color palette, actually, that my sister actually questioned once. She went on Wallpaper Engine, because even though she doesn't play Genshin Impact, she has already determined that Child is, in fact, her husbando.
In Genshin Impact.
In Genshin Impact. Because she's already determined her anime husbando type is well-dressed, morally gray, walking red flags. And Tartaglia fits all of those.
To a T.
To a T. It is like he is custom designed for my sister. But she was on Wallpaper Engine, and obviously people make really cool, like, fan art wallpapers and stuff, and she found a few that she actually asked me. She's like, why is this a different color? And I was like, oh, let me show you. So I went to go punch him again, and I was like, watch. And his outfit actually goes from, like, that light gray to black. Which actually works better, in my opinion.
Oi!
The gray is nice.
James! The hell you doing, man?
Wait, what? Oh, thank you, James.
Thanks.
Or I guess that goes to you,
indeed.
but
Oh yeah.
thanks of you.
Cheers, homie. Do us proud.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
That was nice of you. Thank you, James.
I'm doing. That's what.
Aw, that's sweet of you.
Much appreciate. Much appreciate.
But no, I lost my train of thought.
I just wasn't prepared for that.
We were talking about...
We were talking about strong character designs.
Okay, actually, if we're going to talk about strong character design, I think I want to mention that some of these characters do not look like their element, which is not bad, admittedly, because you yourself actually were once like, oh man, I'd like to use Beto, but she's a pyro character, and I'm like, what are you talking about? She's an electro. It's because her main color is red.
Yeah, like she has some purple undertones on the tailcoats of her outfit, but that's about it.
Yeah, and to be fair, her vision, which, you know, is the thing that allows people to use their element, is on her hip. Like, it's like on a belt or something. But otherwise than that, no, she's not wearing any purple. Like, at all, other than the undertails of her coat. But even then, like, they don't really look purple. They almost look like a dull red.
Yeah, kinda,
So,
yeah.
like, yeah, so, which is not a bad thing. It's a good look. But admittedly, at a glance, you can't tell what her element is. Unless you saw her vision on her hip.
Alright,
'cause there
sounds
are a
good,
few
James.
characters that... Huh?
Say he's gonna be
Okay.
RB.
Okay, that's fine. Go get your food. Food's important. We stand people taking care of themselves.
Oh yeah, that's what I'll be doing after we finish up here.
Actually, same. I have to go hang out with my family, actually.
I was gonna make a joke, but I know James would be like, "Hey, no, you ain't buying that stuff with the money I just gave." I was gonna make a joke like, "Oh, James just bought me a McChicken." But to be fair, he bought me like 3-4 of them because they're like $1.
Oh, nice, yeah.
But even still, like, I was gonna make that joke, but I know James would be like, "No, none of that shit."
Okay, yeah, don't do that. But no.
But again, just in jokes, just in jokes.
Oh yeah, but no. What do you call it? But no, there are a few characters, in my opinion, that um, do not look like their elements. Beto is one of them.
Kazuha.
Actually, Kazuha, dude, he's got a good look, but oh my god, you do not look like a Wind character. There is literally not a single cool color on him. No blue, green, or purple. He is all red and white. From that description alone, you would think he looks like a candy cane. He doesn't, I promise.
If we're talking about Kazuha though, whenever he talks, yeah, it'd be sweet like a candy cane.
Honestly, I'm not falling for it.
Yeah, I remember.
There's a lot of people that like him too, and don't get me wrong, he is cool. He's got a great design. I honestly don't see it.
I just remember what Beta said whenever we first meet Kazuha. He's like, yeah, sometimes he opens his mouth and flowers come out.
Yeah,
just because his manner of speaking and like poetry and stuff.
Yeah, which I mean, I'd be interested to hear some poetry. I'm curious what this guy writes, but not because I want to be like, I don't know, sweet talked. I'm curious. But no, good look. Does not look like an Animo character. Who else? Maybe I should just open the game real quick and just flip through.
I just looked up the characters just in general on Google search. I have them pretty much all here.
Okay.
But
Oh wait.
Another one I actually do like is Albedo's design. I want that outfit in Final Fantasy 14.
Honestly, yeah, that's a good look.
I want that hair. I want that hairstyle.
I kind of do too. Which, okay, you know what? I'm about to do a read on anybody that likes Albedo. You like him because you like his hair, but not in game.
Right.
It looks fine in game, but we're gonna be real about this. He looks better in official art.
Yeah, whenever it's official art. To be fair, yeah, pretty much all the characters look better in official art versus the actual in-game. Not that they look bad necessarily in game, but they could look better in game.
Some people do. My man D-Luke is apparently the probably biggest source of people complaining about it, from what I've seen at least. Most other characters look fine. But no, about Albedo, he doesn't look like a Geo character. Like, he's got not much yellow on him, or orange. He's mostly blue, actually. Is that not weird?
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing.
Scrolling
Again,
through.
you don't have to wear your element color, but
Oh yeah.
if you want people to recognize you, it makes some sense to at least have some of it on you.
I actually do also like Kamisato Ayaka's because it's like a battle dress. Because it has like armor, but it's a dress.
Oh yeah. I think it's really nice. Speaking of character, I just thought because I thought about her brother, Ayato, who again, that's a good look too. It's a business suit.
Where does he pull the boba tea from though?
It's out of one of his sleeves, and it has the straw in it and everything. And I'm like, dude, that's gonna spill in your sleeve. You're gonna ruin your sleeves.
Unless he's somehow using magic to make it stay. Here's the thing though, it can't be out of one of the sleeves. There's no bump in that sleeve.
Okay, but his idle animation, he holds up his arm, reaches into the sleeve because it's like a long kimono sleeve off the arms, and he just pulls out a boba tea.
I just assume it's magic, you know. It's the only logical thing.
The loudest like slurp noise.
even though that cup is clearly full.
I know. It's like, dude.
He's doing that shit on purpose.
He's being rude as hell. But no, the reason I had a weird thought, my thought was, characters that a lot of people like, from what I've seen, but I do not understand why. Ayato is one of them. Granted, I haven't met Ayato, in my defense, so...
Yeah, same.
That opinion could change. However, one that probably will never change is Scaramouche.
Scaramouche, Scaramouche.
One, what is your name? Two, why? I don't see it. I'm sorry. Like, don't get me wrong. If you like him, that's fine. You're allowed to like him. I'm just not.
Yeah, people apparently simping for Scaramouche. I'm not sure why.
I mean, like with some characters, I see it. I can definitely see why people simp for Ayato. I see why people simp for Kazuha. I definitely see it. I do not see it with Scaramouche. Also, he's not a playable character, so that also might be affected.
Not yet.
Too.
There's rumors that he might. There's rumors that he will be.
I think the general rule is that if they're playable, they have to be alive. I guess.
Yeah, here's the thing. I almost said something that would have been spoilery. Not going to touch it.
Does it have something to do with Inazuma?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, I'll shut up. I mean, I think everyone knows that, but I'll shut up.
Just in
all
case.
All I have to say is thank God. I did not like them. I hated them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just me being petty, though. But no, God, I had a thought and I lost it. Damn, it was about characters that I don't fully understand why people like them, like in the way that they do.
In more of a simping fashion.
Yeah, characters that people simp for, and I don't really understand it. Personally, most of these are men, because I feel like there's a reason to simp for all the women, but some of these men just do not impress me, unfortunately. Actually, you want to know a character I think people simp for and I don't know why? Again.
Who?
Baiju. The pharmacy dude.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I can at least see that one. I'm not saying I do, but...
Yeah, which, by the way, he has a Dendro vision. He has one. It's like on his hip, I think. Yeah. I noticed it. I was like, oh, he's got a green vision. But it's not the same color as Animo. Animo's like a turquoise.
Yeah.
This is like distinctly green. And I was like, wait, what? He's not playable. Why does this person have a vision and he's not playable?
Because not necessarily everyone who has a vision needs to be playable. Although I am waiting for the day he becomes playable. Because I'm sure it's going to happen.
I mean, I'm pretty interested. I have seen some things where people think that if Dendro is added, it is a strictly healing-based vision.
Yeah, but I think it could also be like that, but also like strictly getting elemental reactions off, kind of like Animo.
I think it could be like that. I would be pretty interested to see Dendro actually maybe make it more clear what it does. Because there's a domain that you can do pretty early on that it's kind of meant to teach you how reactions work, and you play as certain characters in each like floor, and it teaches you like, oh, if you put cryo with pyro, it melts. Like, it'll teach you how to do that. There is none for Dendro.
Not yet, at least.
Maybe they'll add one. Which, by the way, that actually reminded me of something. If we're allowed to jump away from the characters for a little bit,
yeah.
Can we talk about maybe issues that we think could be improved upon, or just observations that we've made? Maybe.
I mean, yeah, we can. I'm just trying to think now.
So part of the reason I guess I got into Genshin was I did have a friend from college who actually, she randomly sent a mass text to several of us from college. We were like a friend group, and they did this little thing where each one of us was like assigned like a guardian from like Rise of the Guardians. Even though I wasn't I was friends with these people, of course, and they did include me in a lot of things, which was very sweet. But they named me a guardian too, but that's a whole nother story. This person messaged all of us, and we were talking about things that we had been doing, because it had been like at least 5 years since some of us have talked. Like, that's a long time. In some cases, even longer. Me. But one of my friends was like, hey, I'm playing Genshin Impact. I was like, oh, really? And I had mentioned to her after I started playing that, you know what, I'm gonna play it. And she once was like, hey, I would like to hear your thoughts. So after I did what is considered the official tutorial, which is the entirety of Mondstadt, by the way.
Pretty much, yeah.
Holy shit. What a long-ass tutorial. Okay, it's considered the prologue.
Yeah, that's a better way of putting it.
It's the tutorial, it's the prologue. But even then, like, when you go through Mondstadt, it does teach you everything. This is how you run around, this is how you fight, these are all the elements, this is how you get around, all that shit. After I finished Mondstadt, I actually typed up a bit of a review for her. Like, I didn't do the stupid metric score of like, oh, I give it like a 9 out of 10. I didn't do that. But I did note that I find it incredibly stupid and very jarring that the earliest way you can get to play with other people is if you get to world rank 18.
Adventurer rank.
Yeah, I'm sorry, no, yeah, Adventure rank 18. Adventure rank 18. World rank is something different. You have to get to Adventurer rank 18, which, that doesn't sound terrible, but damn, it takes a long time.
It's definitely a decent enough amount of time to get to 18.
To unlock a multiplayer feature, that is way too long, in my opinion. I think even 10 might have been pushing it, because based on where you would be in the story.
To be fair, what I'm sure it comes down to, though, is literally just not powering somebody through the very early stages of the game.
I mean, maybe. I did note to her that, I'm gonna be real with you. If this is a mobile game, I do not understand how it fits on the phone at all. Because
I downloaded it on mobile just to actually see the size of it. It is hella compressed.
But even then, holy crap, the size of the map is wild. Just the part, I was like, dang, this is a big world. Look how big it is. That was just Mondstadt. That doesn't include Leeway or Inazuma, which are arguably bigger.
Not to mention 4 other locations we still have to travel to, if this game is going that far.
My brain hurt just looking at all of it. I was like, oh my god.
My brain hurt.
Whoever created this map is a freaking sadist. They like watching people be
in
pain.
No, whoever created Dragonspine is a sadist.
Oh my god.
The map itself is fine. Dragonspine, though.
Oh my... Okay, getting around Dragonspine was annoying. Like, ugh. I hate Dragonspine so much. I'm just cringing. Also, we had a friend of ours, it was actually Bobby, who was like, hey, you should go talk to Albedo. And I'm like, why should I go talk to him, other than he's next on the list? And he's like, you get to go to Dragonspine. And I literally was like, I really want to skip Albedo. It wasn't that bad. But I was like, that just should just tell you, I kept dying. You freeze very easily, because of the bitter cold. And, I'm stupid.
Bitter cold is definitely a hell of a process.
Okay, because you mentioned you won't name specific spoilers, there's a fight that happens in Inazuma. You fight somebody, and it has 2 phases, I think? It was 2, right? With that one person?
Oh, yeah. It's 2 phases.
Okay, yeah. The first one made me cry, because it inflicts bitter cold on you, and I was like, no! Because it's ice-based, and I was just like, why would you do this? I was having a moment, and I really wanted to turn off the game. I was like, I can't do this. I'm having Dragonspine PTSD.
But yeah. So, trying to think, because I haven't mentioned anything about, like, what I may or may not, like, dislike about the game, or, like, something that could be improved. And honestly, I'm not 100% sure. Like, the whole... I have, like, little gripes, maybe, about certain stuff, but nothing where I could be like, oh my god.
Well, then share them.
The whole...
petty about?
Basically, whenever you're climbing up something in the game, whatever wall it may be, and sometimes you'll be like, oh yeah, this is a slight angle. And sometimes your character just will not go up that damn angle, and it pisses me off. It's like, fine, I'll go to the right another 2 inches just so I can get up here.
Like, in some cases, yeah, it makes sense. Like, the incline suddenly changes very steeply, so yeah, you can't
Yeah,
climb that.
yeah, like obviously if it's super steep, that's one thing.
Yeah, but like, this is a game where, like, you're essentially a spider and you can just cling to anything.
Yep,
Even
just
things I'm pretty
climbing.
sure you couldn't climb like
Just,
Spider-Man.
yeah, you just climb whatever the hell you want. Doesn't matter.
I don't know why I use the spider analogy. I hate spiders.
Yeah, fun
But
fact.
yeah, fun fact. Number one fear, absolutely spiders.
Arachnophobia is real.
It is real. I am.
Which I thought was hysterical whenever we saw that there were spider enemies. They're not even really enemies. They just kind of chill and shoot web at you.
Oh my god. I was going through the chasm, which is like, I guess, I think that's actually the most recent area that they've added again.
Yeah, it's the most recent area.
Yeah, which is a great place for farming ores if you need any. Except
Pretty
I
much,
can't find
pretty
any
much,
fine iron
pretty much
stuff.
any of them. Noctilucos jades for the actual proper name that we just call Noctis jades because it's easier.
Because it's shorter and we like Final Fantasy, so you know.
Yeah. But
It's
so yeah, like especially Noctis jades. There's some core lapis in the chasm. There's plenty of white iron. There's plenty of crystal.
Yeah, it's great. In fact, I marked areas that were like highly concentrated just so I can like go around. I might do that.
As a matter of
before I
fact,
go visit my parents.
whenever I log back in, I have multiple things I need to grab, like dandelion seeds for Jean.
Yeah. To be fair, we actually were kind of starting to try and prepare for the 2.7 update because they have revealed who they're going to drop and what they need to level up, like to ascend them. Turns out I'm perfectly fine for. I think you said, didn't you say Zhao requires those Genshin flowers, the little white ones?
Yeah, he requires Qingxin flowers.
Which is weird. I never would have thought flowers was a Zhao thing, but whatever.
And then Yelan needs star conches, which is a chi shell.
Yeah, like the little seashells that you find, which I actually found a bunch because I don't really pick them up often at all.
Yeah, same.
So, like when we went to just go find them, yeah, I just found all of them.
That's the thing. Every time I happen to run by one, I mean, yeah, I pick it up, but like, doesn't happen insanely often.
Well, yeah, because I'm not usually on the beach.
Exactly.
In Leeway. But I think the number you need of any item that is one of the items that is required to ascend a character. I think you need like at least 160.
It's 164, 168, one of those two numbers.
Yeah, it's like 170. I literally had like 175 of those flowers.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, cool, you don't have to go gather those.
Well,
If you get Zhao.
Personally, I think I'm gonna roll for Zhao. Personally, mostly because one, despite my gripes, I did get to play as him, and honestly, he is pretty fun.
I mean, I'm gonna be.
Also, he is strictly a DPS character, which I would like to have.
Obviously, I'll do the trial first just to make sure, but chances are I will roll for Yelan since she'll be coming out, but we'll see.
I definitely do want to try her out because, honestly, I do not like bow characters. Strictly as a bow character. I mean, admittedly, the only two bow characters I have are Amber, which you will get if you do the story, and I have Goro, best dog boy. Do you think his ears are super soft?
Most likely.
I bet they're fluffy. Anyway, he's a bow character, and I spent some time leveling him up, but I never actually read what his skill does. And I'm not saying it's bad, but for what I do, it's not really great.
It's good for those specific situations.
Oh yeah, like it's great if you have the setup that it clearly wants you to use, which is have a party of nothing but Geo characters.
Here's the thing. Every character can be good giving the right setup and situation.
Oh yeah. Because,
At the end of the day.
Oh yeah, I 100% believe you can make any character work if you know how to build them. Plus, you don't even have to do it, quote, correct, because there are obviously optimal things, like Kachang. When you ascend her, she gets increased crit rate?
No, she gets increased crit damage. D-Look gets increased crit rate.
Okay, yeah. So, obviously, paying attention to what levels up specifically, other than just their health,
And attack
Um,
and defense.
yeah, like ignoring those, the other thing that levels up is supposed to kind of give you a hint on, hey, maybe you should make a build like this or something that takes advantage of this. I think you could probably ignore it, assuming you knew what you were doing, but I'm not smart enough to do that.
Yeah. That, or just straight up, like, look at their skills and see what their scalings are, and if they specifically say, hey, this will do more of this thing if based on their percent HP, guess what? That character needs percent HP.
Yeah, or like, oh, it scales off their defense, so you probably want to give them more defense.
It scales off their attack, therefore you want to give them more attack.
Oh yeah, most stuff scales off attack. I feel most things scale off of health and attack.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If something is just straight up skill damage, it doesn't have any specific scaling, then yeah, you don't have to worry about specific scaling to that for that matter, but it will still be based on your attack in a way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like, I was trying to think of an example. Like, most, I think Geo characters tend to have their stuff scale off of their defense. I know Yunjin does.
Yunjin does.
I think Zhongli does too.
Zhongli's not defense, this is HP.
Close enough. Okay, no, that is definitely different. But the oh god, what do you call it? I mean, there's a lot of people where it's like, oh, it's obviously with someone like Chi-Chi, who, if you activate her skill, you just heal as long as you're attacking, which is fun. It's my preferred way of healing. But I'm pretty sure that scales off health, so I gave her a bunch of health stuff.
What, Chi-Chi?
Yeah, is it not?
Her R2, it's scaled off of attack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Either I said that wrong, or I've been doing it wrong.
Barbara's ability is based off HP.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. I'm turning on the game. I have to double check.
That's gonna be hilarious, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna double check. I gotta see what I gave her.
Well, you know, while you do that, so I'll just explain this real quick. So, for instance, how I have Kaching. Kaching was my very first 5-star. I got her whenever I originally played the game a little over a year ago. Also, bless you, I think.
I coughed, but thanks.
Okay. It sounded a little like it could have been a sneeze, but okay. Anyway.
My own bullshit.
Yeah. So, but whenever I came back to the game and was actually reading more stuff and understanding stuff better, I was like, oh, okay. Kaching gets more crit damage whenever she ascends, basically, and becomes stronger in that regard. So I was like, oh, wait, if that's the case, then I need to work on her crit rate, just straight up. So, as of right now, my Kaching is sitting at 50% crit rate, and but like 100% crit damage percentage. And just for a basis, most characters start off at like 5% crit rate and 50% crit damage. From my understanding.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay, I turned on the game and I looked at Chi-Chi. Yeah, Herald of Frost. On hit, Chi-Chi's normal and charged attacks regenerate HP for your own party members and nearby teammates. Healing skills based on Chi-Chi's attack. Okay, but what did I give her?
I was about to say, it's gonna be hilarious if you actually did HP.
Oh god, what did I give her? That artifact, Elemental Mastery, attack, crit rate, defense. That one is HP, attack, Elemental Mastery, critical hit, or critical rate.
Let's not worry too much about the secondary stats. What's the main stats?
HP, attack. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
That would explain why mine felt so much stronger to yours. Because I too have Chi-Chi.
Oh no. I have to fix that. I'll fix it later. I'm stupid.
We never claim to be professionals, we just play games for fun.
Oh, I'm so stupid. Okay, but to be fair, I think it's the words today.
As I was about to say, you want to reboot?
No thanks. Oh, actually, I might. But no, I think it's impressive that I've survived this long with the stuff I have.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so I think that deserves some merit. I am a god, thank you very much.
sure.
The god of salt.
Yeah, they got us. That's a part of a character story, so you probably shouldn't talk about it. But
Yeah, it's okay. My husband gets to talk about me. It's lovely.
in,
Well,
in, in
one
a
of my
sense,
husbands.
I was about to say, what if your husband is?
Got like three main ones, maybe four. Wow, how did I forget him? Oh, I forgot Toma.
So let's say here's the thing. Strictly, we're talking about like people making like grabbing a husbando from Genshin Impact. If you're talking about in the sense of an actual relationship, the best option is Toma. That's just
Honestly,
hands
yes.
down.
He's the best. Like his job is that he goes around and fixes things. Like he's a housewife basically. Like he knows
He's a
how to
house
do
husband.
things.
Thank you
Shut
very
up.
much.
He probably he could probably cook and clean. Like I believe it.
I don't know. I mean,
But no.
he also has a sense of humor, which is nice.
Yeah. He's an anime boy, so he's, conventionally attractive too. I wouldn't say he's the most attractive.
However,
That's a question.
if we were going to talk about hands down the best option for a relationship in terms of waifus, I really don't know who's the best in that regard.
Well, here's the question: what do you want in a waifu?
Well, see, that's also the thing. Do you just want to be a gold digger and be like, I want Ningguang because she has money? It's like, okay, gold digger.
I mean,
To be fair, Yanfei probably makes bank too.
she's a legal advisor.
She's a legal advisor.
Which I actually like that touch. That Leeway, the city of contracts, is a place that actively has legal advisors.
Yep, basically lawyers and whatnot.
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
It's just like, that's a nice touch.
Yeah, like that makes sense. Leeway would have legal advisors and lawyers and people that specialize.
What, James? I see you say quick. Random freestyle? No, I can't do that.
Freestyle rap? Absolutely fine.
I can't do that. I genuinely can't.
I mean, if you give me like 2 hours, I could probably write something. Lord.
Because here's the thing, I'm gonna probably end up saying something I shouldn't, even if I did.
Yeah, because I don't want to accidentally rhyme and say something wrong.
No, not necessarily say something wrong, but since we're talking about Genshin Impact, maybe we'd say something about Genshin Impact. It's like, oh wait, can't say that because of spoilers, or it's like, oh, I'd say maybe some kind of messed up joke, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want, like, the one thing I don't want to do is offend people. Like, genuinely offend people. It's one thing if I just say, like, oh, haha, your waifu is shit, but, I mean, I don't think it's a bad one. Haha, your waifu sucks.
You chose wrong, bitch.
I mean, there are objectively correct answers, in my opinion. Objectively best husbando is Zhongli.
I mean, it's not objectively, it's just he's best husband.
He has one critical flaw, though.
You can work that out in post.
Okay. The god who created money doesn't have money.
To be fair, if you were gonna be with a waifu though, like Mona, you just have to accept the fact you're paying for everything.
Honestly, I think her and Zhongli would be great friends.
I mean, they would never go out anywhere because they would never have money.
Okay, to be fair, Zhongli does have a job, so like I'm sure he makes money. He's just not smart about spending it because he doesn't have a concept for trying to make a bargain, specifically with money. But he is the god of contracts, so he knows how to make a contract.
Alright, so we're gonna say this. I think we can start slowing down, closing down, maybe.
Let's see. Rapid fire opinions, go.
Rapid fire opinions. How better yet? How about this for a question? What has been your favorite parts about playing Genshin? Is it the husbandos? Is it the waifus?
Well, I mean, I'm not really into the waifus personally.
Is it the combat? Is it?
I mean, I do like the combat. I mean, it's not terribly hard, in my opinion. I mean, I'm definitely no Dark Souls player. I've only played Baby's First Dark Souls, which is Code Vein, and even that was a struggle for me. Which is a problem.
I
It shouldn't
too
be that
am
hard.
not a Dark Souls player, but have only played Code Vein to a more successful degree. But even still,
I mean, I had a build that worked, probably because I just looked one up online and didn't make it myself. But, you know, uh,
but Code Vein could be another topic for another day.
hell yeah, I love Code Vein. I'm just really chronically, terminally bad at it. Um, but no, I do like the combat a lot. I think the way the elements interact with each other is actually pretty fun. Um, obviously, some of them are pretty basic and make a lot of sense. Some of them, such as Overload and Superconduct, are interesting and kind of a little broken. Um, in a good way, or maybe a bad way. I don't know. It's just powerful. But uh, there's that. I like just being able to wander around too. I mean, I've never been the biggest fan of open world games just because they usually do not give you a super strong sense of direction. I like some direction. Um, there is a direction in Genshin Impact, but you don't have to go there. Trust me, I've been blatantly ignoring going to this one location. I don't want to go to that one island that's just covered in fog.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
terrified.
I did that whole side quest. It is a bitch.
Yeah,
I did that whole side quest line.
just which sucks because like there's just this foggy area on my map, and I'm just like I want to go there, but I can't.
I'm too
So
scared.
annoying. I am terrified, honestly. I don't like it. It reminds me of Silent Hill. I'm just like can't do it. I am a chicken. I'm a chicken.
She admits it.
I have always
Heard it here first, folks.
put it on a calendar if you want to.
Will do.
Okay, I'm being serious. But no, I do like that. I do like the characters a lot. Most of them are pretty interesting. I mean, obviously, I have my biased opinions. I like to think I am, in fact, objectively correct about most things, but that is not true. I did have people tell me that apparently I have really interesting opinions. I don't think that's true, but apparently I do.
I mean,
What?
I don't know. Sometimes you do, maybe.
I mean, my brain be
I feel like sometimes
hardwired differently.
I feel like sometimes I do, just because it's like I'll let you know what I think, and I'm not here to just like I'm not here to offend people or anything like that. Like, we can have normal conversation and discuss topics,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and not be at each other's throats, you know?
Yeah, you don't have to be. I mean, I will get all up in arms about shit, but usually it's in the name of like, hold on, I have a point to prove. You don't have to agree with me, but I need to have my moment, basically.
Like, again, like even talking about topics that not gonna like specifically bring up, obviously, but just talking about topics that typically do put people at each other's throats for no reason, just because they're on opposite sides of the spectrum, just makes no sense to me. Like, we can talk about stuff, just talk. No arguing, no yelling, no like threatening to pull out a weapon on somebody. It's like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Why certain topics just get people going like that. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about.
I don't know. I think part of the reason people, I guess I'll just go ahead and say it, I am considered autistic. I am considered on the autism spectrum. I suppose that's probably the reason why some people are like, oh, you have interesting thoughts. Is it because my brain is hardwired differently? I don't know.
I mean, maybe so.
I once made the comparison that, like, everyone's brain is like a computer. Some of us have Windows, and some of us have iCloud installed. Or, like, what does Apple use?
It's
even know.
just the Mac OS.
Whatever, yeah, like, some of us have Mac OS, and some of us have Windows 10.
To be fair, you could just set it up as well as just like, oh, I'm on Windows 10 while this person's on Windows Vista.
I feel like my brain's on Windows XP. I
when
think
when
the XP stands for
Windows
extra.
Windows 98.
My brain sometimes runs at the speed of a snail in molasses. Like,
But,
I
but
can't.
by the way, I just said Windows 98, and then I actually thought about what year it is, and I went, "Fuck."
2022, baby. Oh, Lord. But no, yeah, that's a thing. I guess, I mean, I'm not trying to make a big deal out of it, but it's a thing. It's probably the reason for why people think I have funny opinions or interesting opinions. It's because I literally do not think the same. Kinda.
Yeah,
I think I think the same,
I'd
but
say
I
so.
don't know. It's probably why I don't have a filter sometimes,
All right,
because there is no filter.
exactly. Which is the best kind of filter? No filter.
No filter?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it depends on what we're talking about. Obviously, some things need to be, handled delicately, but some things, no, you just gotta punch them. Right in the face.
You just gotta
Square in the nose.
you just gotta get that talk in there. Just be like, hey, no.
No, I will punch
So,
you. I will smite thee
but-
with the power of salt.
But back at the topic at hand for finishing up though, as far as me and like what the favorite part about the game is, I'm not 100% sure. I would say it's just like the whole experience itself. Even though there's some things I find extremely tedious, I still end up doing them. Like how I was like, yep, I'm gonna finish off getting all the Geo-Oculus, and then I'm gonna finish up getting all the Animoculus that I don't have. What a pain in the ass that was.
Well, didn't you say one of the Geo-Oculus is behind a whole side quest?
Yeah, it was behind a whole side
Because
quest.
you have to get into an area that you can't reach?
Yeah, you have to do a side quest that'll get you to an area, and then you have to fight a few enemies. This is the part where I told you I had to fight 3 Ruin Guards at the same time.
Oh my lord.
And let me tell you what, everything goes to shit the moment all 3 of them decide they're going to do the spin attack at the same time.
Maybe they were expecting you to have Zhongli at that point, because the shield he gives you is beefy.
Like, I didn't die in the fight, but like fully dead. I did have D-Look die just because I got stuck in a corner with the spin attack.
No, you killed my husband! Don't dare!
It's alright. He gets healed up and then he goes back out there and kills them.
Hell yeah, revenge.
I mean, that's what happens, because my D-Look and Kaching are honestly very, very strong. Like, I don't know how else to say it. Like, I don't know if I am doing a proper build for them, truly. I'm just doing what I think is right, and they feel really strong, so to hell with it.
In my opinion, if it works, don't change it. I will have to go change my Chi-Chi, though, apparently.
At least a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I read it wrong. That's fine. I'll work
Now,
on it later.
I don't know if the things she puts on the enemies with like her ultimate and also just attacking in general once you get that passive, I don't know if that has a different scaling.
Let me. You know what? I will read that.
But since one ability is scaled off attack, it would really suck if the other one was not also scaled off attack. That'd also be really
blah,
annoying.
blah, blah, blah. Preserver of Fortune. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Chi-Chi releases the Adeptus power sealed within her body, marking nearby opponents with a fortune-preserving talisman that deals cryo damage. With this talisman on, when opponents affected by this talisman take damage, the character that dealt the damage regenerates HP. That's it.
Okay, it doesn't even have a scaling. Nice, so it is just kind of like a set amount, probably.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Yep.
But yeah,
I bet that might be affected by her health. I don't know.
but if it doesn't specify, then it doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, regardless, yeah. That'll be something I work on later. That's for
Yeah.
me though.
But again, I would say probably just the experience itself of playing Genshin Impact has been kind of the favorite thing. Again, even though certain things are like, yeah, this is tedious as hell. Like,
Yeah,
is-
we're
it-
like, oh my God.
wait, yeah, that's my biggest gripe. Side quests take way too damn long.
Some of them, yeah, they definitely do.
And don't get me wrong,
Um,
it's actually a lot of credit to the developers themselves because of there's so much dialogue even in side quests that you just have to read through it, like if you're actually interested in whatnot. Like literally every NPC you can talk to them and they'll have enough dialogue where you can kind of figure out what kind of personality they may have. It's absolutely
Yeah.
insane.
Even ones that like I'm pretty sure they're not even a part of a like story quest. They're just there to fill up space in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
which is bonkers. I can't. How does this fit on a cell phone?
Again, like I said, I don't know how. Like I said, it's compressed because the amount that I downloaded on my phone just to see how much it was vastly lower compared to what it was on the PlayStation.
I mean, to be fair, yeah, we do. We both of us play it on console, not PC. I might get my sister to play it. I might. I mean, I don't know. If she's interested, we'll have to figure out the best method for her, and also help her, because I love my sister, but she's gonna need a lot of things explained to her.
Oh yeah.
It's fine. It could be something that can be done, but that's another day. Plus, I mean, worst case, if she hates it, it's free. She just plays it. It's fine. But no, I mean, I do like playing it, even if I don't really have a goal in mind. I kind of like just wandering around. Even in areas that I'm pretty familiar with, sometimes you just find something you didn't actually see.
Yeah, find something new.
You find treasure.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, how did I miss that treasure chest before?
Yeah, like, it's like what I told my friend that was like, hey, you should give me your thoughts. I actually told her in my review, and I quote, the rub your dick on everything method really works here. Because touching everything gives you something. It gives you experience, it gives you items. Like, if it's sparkly or it's new, touch it. It'll probably do something.
Yeah, like I'll tell you right now, especially whenever I was looking for the rest of those Geo-Oculus and Animoculus, that is could never be truer.
Yeah, but I also did emphasize in the same paragraph that while the rub your dick on everything method is great for exploring, the fuck around find out method will backfire on you if you're not prepared.
Like for instance, I'll go ahead and tell you for whenever you decide to finish off your Geo-Oculus and Animoculus, whenever that day comes, there are some Animoculus that are way the hell up in the sky.
How are you supposed to get them?
There was one in particular where I was having a tough time. I was like, what the actual... I literally just went... It's in Storm Terror's lair. And literally what I did is I just teleported to the top of Storm Terror's, and I flew off of there in that direction, and I was able to get that particular one. But then there was another one that I just couldn't tell. And then I eventually saw that it had... Like, it was way the hell up in the sky. And it turns out that all the way down on the ground, there's actually one of those pillars where you can do a wind attack, and it'll give you a thing to fly up that high. Again, though, it was so high. There was one Animoculus that was way off in a corner, like nuzzled in a corner. It's like, what the hell are you doing here?
Some of them are in some weird ass spots, but I don't know.
Like most of the Geo-Oculus ones made sense to me. A couple of the Animoculus ones though pissed me off.
Some of the Geo-Oculus ones are pissing me off already. Probably because like there's one I saw on the map and I literally cannot even see it. Like if I can at least see it, I can figure out a way to get up there probably. But in some cases it's like, okay, I see it on the mini map. Where is it?
Where is it?
Literally, I'm gonna.
It's either above or below you.
Well, yeah, I know, but I was high, and then I went low, and I don't know. I'm about to go fucking run all over the entire city of Liyue, find Zhongli, and be like, dude, fucking tell me where they are. You're the one that put them out there, right?
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know.
I'm also gonna grab Venti and do the same thing. Like, dude, where'd you put all these Animoculus?
Okay, so any closing topics or discussions you want to touch upon?
I don't know.
I heard the gears turning. Slowly, but they were turning.
my brain blue screened for a second.
It's just like, yeah.
You put me on the spot. How dare you?
Well,
I mean, I guess if I'm allowed to give a closing statement, I mean, I do think that Genshin is a good game. However, it is definitely not the game for everybody. This is a true statement for pretty much any game, but I 100% agree that Genshin is one of the ones it applies to more. If you're not really into sitting there for a long-ass time, taking a million billion hours, not literally, of course, but, you know, taking a long time to level up characters that you do have or you do like, this is not the game for you. Hell, even I'm questioning it sometimes, but honestly, I like the aesthetic, I like the combat, it's fun. the gotcha system could maybe be changed a little bit. I mean, obviously,
It's
but that is
got
kind
it,
of the
it's gotcha. Let me tell you, I wouldn't consider myself a Fako veteran, but let me tell you, as a Fako player once upon a time, the gotcha will never change.
yeah. Like, and I'm not expecting it to completely go away or to be completely fair, but I think like I mean, maybe just a bit higher. Like, it wouldn't even have to be a lot. It could just be like another couple percent, maybe. Like, at most. Like, it wouldn't have to be a lot. Because, like, with the new banners coming out for Yalan and then the rerun for Zhao, with how those character banners work in general, like, it's like, okay, yeah, you still got a pretty low percent. However, if you do get a 5-star, it is a 50% chance it'll be that. So, really, you have to just first see if you can even get a 5-star and then just win the coin flip, it sounds like.
Pretty much.
Which, in my experience, I never really win heads or tails. I usually go heads and it's usually tails.
Yep. Alright then.
Damn it, no.
Okay, so
I mean, that's just my thoughts, I guess.
Alright, so I will close this out. First off, thank you, James, for chilling out in here. I'm not sure how much you're actually listening, but that part doesn't really matter. Just sitting here, chilling out, sending a couple things into messages. Good stuff.
It's nice. Yes, thank you very much, James.
I noticed that the number would occasionally hit 4, so whoever those people were, thanks for dropping by, even if it was for a minute.
Yeah, thank you. For real.
Not that they'll ever open this again, potentially, but who knows.
Who knows, yeah.
But, hey, that's all that matters. And so yeah, that is the first installment of the Age Show on Twitch. Gonna try and do these every Sunday, I would like to imagine.
I think we should, we're trying to be a bit more casual about it now, because trying to stick to a very strict schedule, I think, was kind of starting to burn both of us out.
As well, especially whenever at the time you still had the 2 part-time jobs.
Oh yeah, it tired me out. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. So we had to work specifically around that, and then also we were trading off each week with editing. But I know there was one time where Jess did 2 in a row, and there was one time where I did 2 in a row, just because that's how just things worked out.
It was tiring.
It's just like, okay, I'm gonna have to edit this week, and it's like, oh, you have to edit this week. It's like, all right.
Yeah, which was fine. But some days I was just like, I literally couldn't.
Yep. So again,
I literally, they screwed me over in my schedule, and it was just bad.
Yeah. So again, that's why we're here on Twitch. Maybe eventually I'll just carry over these archives from Twitch onto a channel on YouTube. I don't know yet. We'll have to figure that one out.
I mean, I could do basic editing, obviously. So.
Yeah, we'd have to.
Who knows? Maybe I'll make a highlight reel.
Maybe we'd have to figure that one out, though. And again, this was more of a test. Basically, I think most of our episodes will probably be at least this length, maybe sometimes longer, depending on what we want to do. As far as like giving an idea of what could potentially happen. There are segments I have in mind. There's potentially, like, as far as giving a visual is concerned, I can play a game, or we can play a game, depending on the situation.
Yeah, we should like one day we should just play maybe we should play Genshin, or maybe we should play Final Fantasy or something.
Yep. But then just and then having our show whilst doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So but again, we'll figure it out, and maybe it'll be broken up into a situation where it's like, oh yes, first hour we'll talk about this, second hour we'll talk about this, depending on what we decide to do. So anyone and everyone that ends up looking at this VOD in particular, there you go, there's some information.
Hell yeah.
And much appreciated for listening.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially since I'm my brain blue screened, and I'm like, I guess to give maybe just a random thought, I guess I do sound like I talk a lot, considering how much I have been talking. But I do have one friend in particular who literally once asked me, so, how do you do that? Do what? The thing where you're just talking. forever, nonstop. You're having a conversation. How do you have a conversation? And I'm like, you open your mouth and words happen.
Pretty much.
Like no joke. Like people think it's some weird talent I have. It's not. It's just a thing I do. But thanks. I appreciate it though. Thank you, friend.
Yeah, happens. But alrighty then. So from
Anyway, I'll now shut up.
yeah, from us here, myself, Connor, obviously Jess.
Hello.
Let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.